What is going on, world? How you guys doing? I see we don't have D Harv just quite yet, and we have a couple surprises, but we have my main man, Bryan Welch. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Dwayne. How about yourself, my friend?
Oh, I was on mute there. I was really talking. I was like, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm eager to see what is actually going to go on with all of the craziness we have going on in the sports world today. Again, my name is Dwayne Wright. I am the host and sports analyst, and we have Bryan Welch. And we're going to come together here and we're going to talk about some sports. But I look like we have one of our other co-hosts that I think he forgot what time it was. So we want to make sure we bring him on. D Har, what's going on, D Har?
Yeah, man, look here. I'm on the old link. That's why, but I was on time. So that's what happened.
Yeah, excuses. God, come on. Come on, D. Oh, my God. But you know what? D Harv.
I play the music because I'm on the phone instead of on my tablet.
But you know what? The fans don't care. They just want to see D Harv on the tube tonight, man. We already got our first 19 guests on the line. Hey, our first 19 guests, we always start off the show by acknowledging all of our guests and our viewers. It is so awesome to have you join. We are straight up on game, and we talk about all of the sports that is going on now and some life stuff outside of sports, but sports is life to a lot of people. So Bryan Welch, man, let's talk a little bit about the Super Bowl before we go on. Give us a little bit analytics of that game we had yesterday.
You know what? It's all is right in the world. The Eagles taking down the Chiefs. That was probably one of the best games I've seen for the Eagles this season. You know, when you sack Patrick Mahomes not once but 6 times, you're doing something pretty good. And you know what? That defense for the Eagles, we've seen them play throughout the whole entire season, how much they've been on rush and they've been able to rush the quarterback and have some great tackling. What a performance last night for the Eagles defensively. But what about Jalen Hurts? I mean, Jalen Hurts played well. I mean, it was an off night for Saquon Barkley, but this Eagles squad played lights out last night. And I think the overall theme for that Super Bowl yesterday was redemption from that Super Bowl from 2 years ago in the desert in Arizona. Great win for the Eagles. And I mean, it kind of brings up a couple of question marks. Where were the Chiefs at? I think they had a little too much fun on Bourbon Street during the Super Bowl week, actually.
You know what? I was just out there in New Orleans. We had a huge show. Big shout out to Soulful Celebration. Great performances by great artists. And, we're part of the Players Choir. There's at least 15 of us that's grouped up together, 21 of us at that time, ex-retired players that can sing. I mean, not sing, but sang. And we got a chance to really perform at that event. But we stayed in the Kansas City Hotel. We actually stayed at the Marriott where the Kansas City Chiefs were staying. And I'm talking about, it looked like Fort Lewis. Everything was just blocked off, and we couldn't see nobody. It was like a check-in, check-out. It was a little weird and off, but I can say growing up, Kansas City was my favorite team. So I had an opportunity to mingle with some of the coaches. I mean, some of those coaches I've seen throughout when I played in the NFL, but it was a little off. I seen Mahomes walk through a couple times. He had a little entourage, and it's very low key, but it didn't feel like the normal Kansas City backing, like the team that's going to come out and dominate. Even though I'm a KC fan, you have fans saying the refs helps them and all that great stuff. Maybe they have a little favor, right? Tom Brady had a little favor as well. But, it just wasn't the same. I don't know. It was just different.
Well, I mean, you look at it, especially with Travis Kelce not having any catches in the first half, dropping a couple footballs during some key moments in the drives for the Chiefs that derailed the drives. And you just looked at, I mean, okay, it might be an off night. They had an off night in 2021 against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, who was on the call for the Super Bowl last night. And you look at that moment and you see, okay, what do the Chiefs, they have good moments and bad moments, but you see this Chiefs team right now and you don't really like how the offensive line looks for 2025.
I will honestly say that the offensive line last night that was there all season for Kansas City seems like they were a little starstruck. There were a lot of different things, components going on before the game. I mean, we were there as a group, and we're ex-NFL players, and we felt like we were there for 3 days. It felt like 2 weeks, and they were there for 8 days. So there's a lot of different components. There was a lot of rookies, on the team, and it's hard to prepare a grown man in that sense. I mean, you're going to tell a grown man sit in a room, right? Hey, you can't get no fresh air or whatever that may be. But I just felt like they wasn't mentally there as usual. You have a KC team that's pretty dialed in. They were saying something like 12 of the games that they played this season, past season, were comeback games. They didn't even have a chance to even start up. So, kudos to the Eagles. Again, they wasn't in my favor, but I can tell that the Eagles had a different mentality coming into this game.
And they had that swagger. I call it the Sirianni swagger. I mean, they had some really good moments, especially with the DeJean pick six. That team wanted to be there. But let's look at the stats. Look at the stats for Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes went 21 of 32 last night, 257 yards, 3 touchdown passes. That came during garbage time. Didn't really make a factor, but 2 interceptions and 6 sacks. He was sacked 6 times. You look at that, but the last time he was in the Super Bowl and lost was in 2021. Similar style. It went 26 of 49, 270 yards, and was picked off twice. So the magic pick number, if you want to beat the Chiefs, is 2. And also force Patrick Mahomes into situations that he's uncomfortable. He's a mobile quarterback, but if you put him in a situation that he's not wanting to be there, you have the upper hand if you're the defense.
Well, I'll tell you right now, you can see that he was very uncomfortable in the pocket. And, when you're a veteran quarterback, there's some things that you just know. You're comfortable with a side of the offensive line, right? Your guards, your tackles, a running back is going to be placed. There's going to be a hot route. There's going to be some things that are just normalcies. The thing was when you heard Tom Brady even say, you can see that Mahomes was uncomfortable. His footwork, his feet, the way he was chattering his feet was like almost as he didn't have any patience or confidence in his offensive line, or he didn't have that confidence until late fourth quarter. I mean, if they would have been able to put up those numbers in the first quarter, it might have been a different game. I mean, there were some mistakes, that were going, but here or there, they put Saquon Barkley in check. He still got over 72 rushing yards, and he had over 45 or 42 receiving yards. And I think that's just plays out to just having great offensive coordinator. Eagles did a great job of picking apart that Kansas City defense.
And who is the offensive coordinator for Philadelphia?
Of course, no other than Kellen Moore. Yes, sir.
Ironically, will be the head coach of the Saints. Who back to the Big Easy.
Yes.
That's a whole different subject we can talk
about. Whole different subject
for straight up on game sports show. But hey, D Harv, I know you're over there in Florida. I know that your Dolphins did not make it that far. But what were your thoughts about the big game last night?
First of all, I don't care nothing about nobody except them boys.
Okay.
I guess he's referring that he's a Cowboy fan, folks.
That's why.
Yeah, they're at home. They're at home resting with everyone else. They're eating filet mignon and watching the Eagles celebrate and watching the festivities coming up.
To the NFC East.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I congratulate them Seagull fans, so it's all good.
They're going to get you, D-Harv. They're going to get you, D-Harv, because our picks are going to be coming up in the offseason. They're going to be asking you, D-Harv, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? And you cannot say the Cowboys. But before we get there, we're going to cut you off, D-Harv, because we're going to go into a quick commercial before we bring in our first guest. But before we go into commercial, we have a very special guest that's going to be joining us now. We want to bring him in real quick before we start our show. We have our main man, Coach Billy Battle.
Hey, what's happening, everybody?
What's going on, Coach? Good to see you. Good to see you.
So, Coach Battle will be joining us for some segments on our show. He is now one of our co-hosts, and he will be dealing with more of the community aspects of all over the nation, and obviously San Diego, Los Angeles, Nevada. But he will be mainly, talking about the community aspect of our show, which that's very important. So, everybody, please welcome Mr. Coach Billy. And after the commercial, we will get back with you, and we're going to bring on our first guest. See you when we see you.
There's too many guys here that should have been recruited and weren't. I want every one of you to get a chance to go to college and get a chance to play the great game of college football.
We'll have 50-plus colleges from all over the country that want to get good football players, and that's where you come in.
They're coming out and they're looking for talent. Today is about showing up and showing out. Today is about opportunity for you guys. Use that second chance to your best of your ability.
This is your chance to sell yourself so you never look back and say, I never had a shot.
We really look for who wants to compete, who's going with high effort, who's competitive.
The opportunity was there, so, took full advantage of it, and we're so grateful that we got to come out here and compete.
1 in 3 of you will get a scholarship, and that scholarship could very well change your life. You showing these coaches you mean business, go in, sell yourself, tell them why they should sign you to go play football at their fine university.
Now, if that didn't get you hyped up, I don't know what did. Man, without any further ado, we want to bring in one of the main representatives and probably the main man on the West Coast, bringing in all the West Coast recruits for this annual showcase, no other than Coach John Woojic. Coach, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, Dwayne? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. We're trying to make that screen bigger so everybody can see your face over there. There we go. They can hear us, but they're just going to see you talk. There we go. How's everything?
Hey, great, man. That video just got me going. I'm so excited about for 2 weeks coming up, man. I can't wait to see all these athletes out there. Oh, it's gonna be one heck of an event.
Yes, and I know that the event is coming up on January 22nd. I know it's going to be in Irvine. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm still in January. Oh, man. Oh, see? Concussions. I'm going to blame it on concussions. February 22nd, the camp is going to be in Irvine. And can you tell us a little bit, just a little bit about, like, the enthusiasm of, like, the players and how they build up to this point?
Oh man, you kind of get it from that video, right? Like it's a free event. It's we're gonna have over 60 colleges out there represented. We're talking whole coaching staffs. We're not talking like 1 or 2 people that can't make decisions. We're talking about head coaches, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators. With 51 4-year universities and 13 JUCOs in attendance, just waiting to give money away to these athletes to play at a D2, D3, NAIA, and JUCO football. So we're so excited. I mean, we've given away in the last 11 years, we've given away over $43 million in financial aid directly responsible to this event. And at CA_showcase on Instagram, at CA_showcase on X, Twitter, whatever you call it. But it's going to be the place to be on the 22nd of February.
And as the viewers hear you speak, and I know there's a lot of young men and even young women that are inspiring athletes, and this show, that's what we're about. We're about promoting, just making sure that athletes understand that they are important and there's plenty of opportunities out there. And as the viewers, as you're on, you can look on the bottom of the screen. We have all of the information going across. Just as Coach Woojic said, you can find them on www.cashowcase.org, the Terry Donahue Memorial California Showcase, February 22nd, 2025. at Great Park, Irvine, California. What time does it start, Coach?
I would be there no later than about 7 o'clock because the lines will be a little bit long. Once we get the athletes through the registration process, everything flows really smooth. It's a combine-like event. One thing I failed to mention, the Heritage Bowl and these folks here that are on this podcast have been nothing but fantastic to work with. We are in it for the right reasons. We are in it for the same reasons. And I'm so thrilled that we were able to partner with you for this event. And so, yeah, be there by 7 a.m. I think we got show times probably around 9 or so. And there'll be coaches from all over the country. And they're not coaching you. They're there to scout you. We have our own coaches and coaching staff that are going to take you through all of your drills and evolutions. While the scouts can go there with the booklet, we have all your information, height, weight, position. And it's just like a recruiting combine. They'll get a full thick binder and they could take notes. And then immediately after, you'll be able to meet with these coaching staffs. We'll have a tent set up. You can go meet face to face. And that's where we get down to business.
Yeah, Coach, we're going to bring in the crew now. We're going to bring in the crew because I know they're going to ask some questions and things of that nature. And you know, we're all a unit. I mean, like you were saying earlier, you know, the partnership is important. And, you know, with all of the athletes that we've all touched in our life, whether it's this showcase or, you know, just speaking to a young woman or a young man, you know, in athletics, this can go far in life for them. You know, this experience of working hard to earn something that's so important that can change their whole family lives. I mean, kind of tell us about that. I mean, do you have a lot of like history of testimonials with players coming back and speaking on how this changed their life?
Yeah, of course. You know, one thing is, hey, I'm a product of this program here. My son Alex, he played both for Coach Wright in the first Heritage Bowl 2 years ago, and then went to the showcase, and he earned a $50,000 a year scholarship to go play college football. I mean, how much better does it get than that? You know, the exposure that both of these events were invaluable to me. And if you got to put a money value on it, it's going to be $200K.
Right.
I mean,
right.
You know?
Right. So, fellas, I mean, you know, we let's ask away, ask some questions and let's dig it out for the next minute and a half, and see what we can get out of Coach.
Hey, Coach, good to see you as always. Good.
Brian, good to see you.
Nice jersey in the background, number 17 for the Bills right there. But hey, I mean, this event, we've been talking about this event. What type of drills are these players going to be expecting when they go down to Great Park in Irvine?
Oh, same as you would expect in a combine. Do the 40-yard dashes. About the only thing they won't do is lift weights. But they will do everything else: shuttle drills, cone drills, defensive line work, offensive line work, 7-on-7. You'll have quarterbacks out there going through their motions. They'll have a couple former NFL quarterbacks out there for coaching, and we have some ex-offensive linemen, defensive linemen. You know, it's gonna when Dwayne gets there, he's probably gonna know 85% of these men that are gonna be there to run this showcase. So it's gonna be pretty cool.
Do you, Harv? D Harv is speechless. D Harv is speechless.
He's for the first time ever.
Sound good to me.
First time ever. He's speechless.
Hey, yeah. So,
but hey,
man, just I hope they go out there and show y'all what they learned through the 4 years of high school football and their youth football, and put on a show and get the best deal out the meal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's right. Hey, Coach, quick question. How many players got scholarships from last year's showcase?
It would have to be close to 1 in 3 historically have earned some type of money, a monetary, either financial aid or scholarship in the last 11 years. So like I said, in 11 years, 43 million, that's, almost $4 million per year that's given away in scholarship money, which is which is amazing. I don't know of anything else that does something like this.
Yeah.
Coach, has anyone reached out to any HBCUs over here on the East Coast?
We put out our flyer. We contact every university, every D2, D3, and NIA university in the country gets something sent to them. It's kind of hard to follow up with every single school, but hey, we're willing to take every lead that you have. If you got some ins and the right point of contact, and we can tell them, how important this is to our athletes, we'll be more than happy to bring them out.
I don't have no contact.
Well, Coach, yeah.
At BCU and at FAMU. That's it.
And you know the best thing about this, I'm glad that Harv brought that up, and also Coach, you're talking about all the colleges, because it doesn't matter nowadays where you end up. I mean, you can go to any university and still be able to reach your goal. But what I preach to young men, I know we all do, especially as coaches, is, and young women, I have to add the young women, is get your degree, get your paper, go in there and learn, be able to be universal, whatever you learn. And then, if you decide you want to use your bonus blessings of being an athlete, then by any means, keep going to the NFL or the UFL or the USFL or the WNBA or the NBA, because at the end of the day, it's still your future. You control your own destiny. The keys that you're opening up, and also like opportunity like the Heritage Bowl and other bowl games and things of that nature, are just opportunities, that help these young men as they move forward. So we commend you. We thank you. And we'll definitely bring you on before the bowl again. And I want to bring on some of those potential players that have actually signed up, for the classic as well, to see, how they're feeling. And I think that'll be a fun show, especially some of the JUCO, the JUCO young men that are actually going to be in this showcase. I think it's going to be a great opportunity. We're all going to be there, and the media team is going to be there, and we're going to have a great time. So thank you, Coach.
Thank you. We're looking forward to the event. We're looking forward to seeing I'm looking forward to seeing all you fine men again, and
yes.
and all the mentorship you bring to these athletes is invaluable. And from a coach and from a dad, I thank you. And like I said, without these two opportunities, who knows where my kid would be right now? But thankful, and he's playing football somewhere.
Yes.
And these kids are next, man. It's there for them. They just gotta want it.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you, Coach. We appreciate it. And we'll see you about a week before the showcase. We're going to go to a commercial, and we're going to bring back that Super Bowl talk because it's so important. There's so much going on. We're even going to bring up a little bit of that halftime show. We're going to talk about everything. There we go. You see the hanging on the wall.
Bills, baby.
There it is. Great Bills fan. All right, Coach. We'll see y'all in a little bit. We're going to commercial. See you soon.
I represent the Terry Donahue California Showcase. We're a combine-like event held in the great park of Irvine. It'll be on February 22nd. We'll have over 60 schools, D2, D3, NAIA, and JUCO colleges there to talk with your athletes. Most importantly, everybody, this is free. Free camp. Free camp to get your kid in front of colleges. In 12 years, we've given away over $42 million in aid. This is a big deal for you and your families. And most importantly, it's a big deal for our athletes. Look us up, and we'll see you there.
All right. I seen that Heritage 3 coming up for next year. It's going to be hot. But we're going to talk about this Super Bowl performance that Kansas City did not deliver. And I'm so disappointed in Kansas City right now. But let's talk about the numbers. Let's talk about the numbers, okay? Like I understand we were talking about Mahomes and how he had 6 sacks, right? And 2 interceptions, possibly could have had 3. What do you think that come from, fellas? I mean, I don't know, Brian, you have a lot of analytics again, but I mean, do you think they didn't prepare as normal? I know they probably focus a lot on the stopping the run game on defense, but what happened on offense?
I think they got overconfident, Dwayne. I think they walked into New Orleans. Hey, you know what? We're the big cats in the NFL. Hey, we're gonna pass the ball. We're gonna run the football. We're gonna have Patrick Mahomes dazzle everybody at the Superdome. But I think they got overconfident and they underestimated how lethal that defensive line is for the Eagles. And that Eagle squad can hit a pretty big punch. They can pack a pretty big punch on that defensive line. If you're not careful, that Eagles defense can mess with you mentally and also physically. And you know what? Overconfidence and also not being prepared against a good defense was kind of the ticket for the loss for the Chiefs yesterday.
Man,
Yeah,
the Eagles put on a clinic yesterday. I mean, it looked like they were playing against high schoolers.
Well, can I compare it? Can I compare it, DR? Can I compare it? It looked like California versus Florida. That's exactly what it looked like. I don't know, Billy, what you think? Hey, that's what it looked like. It looked like California versus Florida. For all our followers, I couldn't wait till D. Harv said something, because that's exactly how it's going to look when California play a Florida team, exactly like the Super Bowl. I don't know.
No, sir. No, sir. It will not happen. We want all the smoke.
No, you don't.
All the smoke. But
No,
anyway, that third interception, that if it wouldn't have been called back, but
yeah,
Darcy from Cocoa High, right here in Chocolate City, Cocoa, Florida, Cocoa High School, home of the Tigers. So,
and that was good. I love that, D. Harv, because see, there were a lot of Floridians playing in that game, believe it or not. The last Super Bowl, right? There were a lot.
The last 5.
The last 5. That's true. That's true. That's true.
Cocoa High former players got 5 different rings. That's crazy.
That's crazy. That means there's something good in y'all water down there. That's good.
I'm trying to tell you, boy, the smoke is here.
I know. But to go back to the Super Bowl, because I know our viewers, because we always have our round where we bring our comments in. There's a lot of San Francisco 49er fans right now that's in our comment box. One of them will happen to be Joe Boy Perez, and he is going crazy in the comment box right now. We're gonna bring on the comments in after we make these couple statements. But my main thing for all the viewers out there, we thank you again for just allowing us to have some fun. Again, we have our new one of our new co-hosts, Coach Billy Battle. That's on. Is going to be bringing a lot of community exposure, and then also, we have D. Harv, Crazy D. Harv. Y'all know who Crazy D. Harv is. Makes all the predictions that just don't go through on our show. And then also, obviously, we have Bryan Welch, our sports analyst. But my thing is just how Saquon, right, Mr. Barkley, had over 2,000 yards. He not shattered, but he owns the new NFL rushing record. And with his yards, he came in the Super Bowl, and then he made it known. The Chiefs had the run game on lock. I can tell that Saquon was he was frustrated, for one. But Jalen, let's talk about Hurts, man. Like, this dude faced adversity. I mean, he's been going through a lot ever since he was in college. He was benched in the national championship game. He stood up on the podium and said, you know what? At this moment, this quarterback in Alabama right now is better than me in this moment. So he already knew that it was going to come a time to where he was going to excel. That quarterback that was Alabama, not doing too well, right? But when he got to the Eagles, man, did he turn it up ever since he got to the Eagles. He just changed the game. You know, the Eagles really never had that quarterback that can run the ball and pass the ball. I would say since Donovan McNabb. And, you know, we can go further and we can go to one of the greats, Randall Cunningham, but I'm talking about current in the 2000s. They had the receiving core. They started off with the receiving core, right? Getting their receiving with Devontae and trying to make sure that the receiving core was right. Then they started to move around on the defensive side of the ball, right? We had a couple rookies came in the last 4 years, and then they started to work on their DBs. I was a little skeptical. Well, you know the word, fellas, what I'm trying to say. I was a little frustrated on the defensive backs for the Eagles only because they brought a rookie in. The rookie came in, immediately made a name for himself on his birthday. What is his name again? I forgot his name. But on his birthday, gets an interception, take it to the house, catches punts, kickoffs.
Cooper DeJean.
There it is, Mr. DeJean. And then, not only that, you have a young man who was a defensive lineman his whole career. His career was almost over in the NFL. They moved him to middle linebacker. He gets an interception that pretty much put the nail in the coffin. And then you have Jalen Hurts, who just shattered their defense in the passing game against, you know, we have Brown against another all-pro DB for Kansas City, and Brown was just ripping them apart. There was no way that Brown should have been getting off like that. But, I mean, what do y'all think, fellas? I just wanted to just add those nuggets in because Eagles came to play. They didn't come to just sit back and act like, you know, I'm not even going to go ahead just in case they cut off our show, but, you know, Taylor Swift was in the house. I mean, you had the whole makeup of the NFL. Again, Casey's my team, but then we can go with the whole script. You know, I can see it happening. Casey win the Super Bowl. Then we get a proposal on the 40-yard line, and then we have a whole deal of Mahomes is crying, and it didn't happen. The three-peat didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Maybe next year he'll get that proposal again.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever see a three-peat. It's that hard to win 3 straight times in a row. I don't think we'll ever see it. I don't think we'll ever see it.
Oh,
you will have to keep the chemistry together like Boston did with Bill Russell days. And nobody trying to keep a team together that long. You know, look what happened to Michael in Chicago with Jerry Krause. They win three beats and he get rid of the whole team. You know, it's crazy.
That is true.
Crazy.
Well, especially it is business, and especially when Xavier Worthy's contract is up, his rookie contract. Where does he go? What does he stay with the Chiefs? Seriously, I mean that was the only bright spot of last night was seeing Xavier Worthy having probably a really good game. But you look at right now, he's the little brother in that wide receiving room. Hopkins, how many years does Hopkins have left in the tank?
I wasn't impressed. We can keep going. Was not impressed. Dropping passes. He's a veteran, wide open. And that's the thing. Not to just that's the thing. Xavier Worthy showed up at the time he needed to show up. Actually, I know people in Vegas and everyone else was probably pissed off because of the numbers. Xavier Worthy is now number 6, I believe, 6 or 7 as one of the top receiving performances from a receiver ever. And he's a rookie. And I'm pretty sure he's probably the number 1 rookie performance. They were comparing him to Jerry Rice and all this type of stuff. He's a rookie. By the time his contract is up, Patrick Mahomes probably won't be in Kansas City. We know how it works. He probably won't be in Kansas City. None of the preliminary players will be in Kansas City. How will that work out? Well, we'll see. But the three-peat is over. I'm sad to say, the three-peat is over. So I don't know, Billy. We haven't heard from you, Coach Billy. So you know, new fans would like to hear your voice, man. I know D. Harv used to be like that when we start, but now we have to turn down the mute button for D. Harv. But you know, what's your insights on the game? What are you thinking on the game?
Man, it is totally something different, especially with the wages. Just the Eagles just came out there. They wanted it, man. They wanted it. You know, they had that bad taste in their mouth from 2 years ago. They went in there and lost on. So it's like, you know, they coming in. It's like, oh, we still got some crew. We got some additions to what we got. You know, let's go in here and do this thing. They were out there playing like ravaging dogs, man. They that their heart, you could see it. You can see it, and like what was mentioned earlier, man. It's like, okay, we back here for the third time. Oh, we got this, man. We ain't gonna lose. You know, they probably could have been at practice just having a ball. You know, oh man, just being lackadaisical. And you know, Dwayne, as well as I do, when we coach together, bro. If our team did that, we had a bad week in practice, we're gonna have a bad week on Saturday. We're gonna have a bad week on Friday, depending on what what level we was coaching at. And it's like, man, you can't do that. You can't do that. You have to stick to your routine that always gets you there. Period.
Right. And they had the routine. Their routine, excuse me, but their routine that they had was we are going to give it to the Kansas City Chiefs no matter what. The very first play for scrimmage, it was like a bomb. They said, we're going to test your DBs. We don't even care what you're going to do. You're going to blitz, we're going deep. You want to sit back in coverage, we're going to run the ball. You know, you want to play aggressive or not aggressive, guess what? We're going to do some play actions. We're gonna see you dropping that Tampa 2 defense that you were trying to run that Tampa 2 coverage, and Jalen Hurts is going to run, and he's going to hurt you. So that was the plan, and it worked out. He hurt both brothers.
His arm and his legs, man.
Arm and his legs. But this is the segment, fellas, before we get even further, because we still got to talk AD. We got to talk the Lakers trade. I mean, we're going to talk some sorry Orlando basketball. I mean, we can go on and on, but we want to talk with the comments because our comments is going crazy right now. But Joe Boy Perez is on our comments going stupid right now because he's a San Francisco 49er fan and he's still going. But I want to bring on his first comment, very first comment. He said, the Eagles defense is the real deal, period. What do y'all think about that?
I agree. I mean, the 6 sacks tells it for itself. I mean, for example, the Eagles only rushed 4, and they were able to get after Patrick Mahomes. I tip my cap to Philadelphia for that defensively. Really impressive performance, really good game plan. They studied and they did their homework on Patrick Mahomes. Big-time defense.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm just wasn't sold on the Eagles defense. I had not a debate, but some of my peers, we were talking about this the day before the game, and we said that the Eagles defense is going to come down to the 2 offenses. I was wrong. Normally, I'm pretty close with the predictions, but I just felt that the matchups that KC had, there's no way that they will be able to stop the speed. You know, we have vets that didn't show up. You know, I'm saying we, like I still play for the Eagles, or that's my, I mean, you know, I'm sorry, that guy, but I'm saying like there was no answer to their defense. I mean, we talk about some of the defensive coordinators that's been in the game. The D coordinator of the Eagles has been in the game for over 55 years. So he already knew. He's been there. He's been in 3 Super Bowls, you know, and things of that nature, you know. So, yeah. So Joe Boy also said this. The Eagles D took away Travis Kelce as a receiver and made him block because that Eagles D was too big, too fast, something Patrick has never, ever seen. They forced him to make plays. What do y'all think about that?
Yeah, he was forced to make plays. And like Tom Brady said, his feet was marching like a little kid in a candy store, trying to get the ball out of there. He didn't have a choice. Those boys was knocking heads. They were coming. And they did it with 4 people. The front 4. Right. No blitz the whole game. And dominated like that. Shoot, man, come on, man.
Well, here's the thing. Look at this. How many times in Patrick Mahomes' career has he been that nervous in the pocket? I can't really remember that many games of him being that jittery, being that nervous of a four-man blitz. Granted, a four-man blitz going after him. I've never seen him that uncomfortable in the pocket. Maybe when he was at Texas Tech, maybe. But he uses his legs to escape the pressure, and there was that the defense found ways to make him uncomfortable, and it's X's and O's. It's
well, it is X's and O's, fellas. And look, football is simple. Football is very simple. It comes down to 11 on 11. On offense, it's 10 versus 11. Period. And we talked about Patrick Mahomes. I mean, there was even rumors that he might have had a slight concussion. And by the looks of his feet, who knows? Because he looked like a blind man the way he was moving around in the pocket, because he was not comfortable with the four-man rush in the NFL. And you telling me there's not one double team? They had sevens and sevens, right? And for those who don't know football, we're talking about alignments, right? We're talking about a 6 alignment, a 7, and this is how the defensive ends lined up. I mean, I just didn't get it. Like, running backs wasn't blocking. I honestly think, and I was at the same hotel, I promise you that the way New Orleans was locked down, there was no way that cats were partying. I just think, like you're saying, like many of the fans, that these fellas thought they had it all in the bag, and they got slapped in the face.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this.
Shows it.
What was that, Coach Billy?
I said the halftime sure it showed it. 24-0, was it? Come on, man. Goose eggs at halftime.
You know what? Yeah, I'm not going to talk too much because I need y'all to spread the love right now, because I'm a KC fan, and I'm disappointed. I am disappointed in the performance, and I'm not even putting no type of money into that organization as an owner or coach, nothing. And I'm that disappointed. Imagine the ownership. Imagine the GM right now. Imagine.
Offensive lineman taken in the first round for the Chiefs.
I think it's going to be more than offensive lineman. I think in the offseason there's going to be some trading and some flipping. I think that the offensive line focus, I think it's going to be more of a defensive focus for Kansas City rather than offense, because they got their behind whooped in the first half, but think about the end of the third quarter, mid third quarter, fourth quarter. They were blocking, they were getting the ball downfield. It takes longer on offense to grind, right, to really get that feel. Defensively, it was horrific. Yeah, I'm sorry, it was horrific. So I don't know, man, but I do know this. We're gonna go into a commercial. And when we come back, we're going to interact with the fans a little bit more and the viewers. And then we are going to talk about this trade, because I'm a Lakers fan. I don't know about y'all, but we got to talk about this stuff that's going on when we get back, man, after this commercial. Hold it to our head and not to our heart. Is that what they say?
Charge it.
All right. We are back. Hey, y'all know it's been kind of quiet because Harv, man, he ain't at his normal DJ station right now where we be getting lit and loose. But let me tell you, when we come back on our normal show, because we still got our show on Thursday, this is just an exclusive show for the Super Bowl. But when we come back on Thursday, everything is going to be tight. We're going to have some brand new segments. Y'all gonna love it. Some awesome guests. We've been meeting, we've been grinding, but it's gonna be back to normal. Thank you to all the guests that's are joining us right now as our comments still blow past. We even got more people. I know we'll get to it, Joe Perez, about Aaron Rodgers not coming back to the Jets. We're gonna touch on all that great stuff. But let's talk about the AD trade. Let's talk about that right now. That caught the world by surprise.
Man.
Yep. I think AD was unhappy from the draft night when they selected Bronny. And I think he checked out then, but I mean, Luka, great shooter, but he won't go in that paint unless he got a fast break. So great defensive player from the out on the arc. But yeah, he ain't going in that paint to be 7 foot, man. He just won't do it. So, but then I see AD went down yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm like, Dallas might have got a bump deal.
You know what? You're hitting everything on the nod right now because it's just so funny that you just brought that up. Welch, I want to hear some numbers though before we get on. Well, give us some numbers. I want to know what was signed. Like, what was the? Do you know what the deal was? Like, what was the years or?
I don't have the deal. I don't have what was in the deal.
Okay.
I can give you some stats on Luka, especially this season.
I want to hear Luka's stats this season.
Luka's stats right now: 28.1 points per game this season. His Laker debut is going on right now. I know my roommates are probably watching the game. Had 35.7 minutes per game this season. And also shooting 35%. He's a 3-point shooter, 35%. But you know what? You look at this team right now. I think the Lakers won the trade. Seriously, if you want to win, you got to make a splash during the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And the Lakers made a cannonball of a trade. Seriously, if you want to go to the finals with how many more years LeBron has left in the tank, probably a couple more. You have to find a way to win. And Harv, we talked about that because that was when the news broke. It was after the Heritage Bowl. It was right after we finished the game, and then all our phones blew up, and that was a trade. I mean, a cannonball of a trade. Harv, I know you're going to talk right now. What do you like about this trade?
Nothing. Nothing. I don't like either one of them. It ain't impressed me a bit. The Lakers been balling though without Luka. I mean, or AD. So they've been winning. It's crazy, but they winning. So I can't knock a man on his hustle when they winning. So I mean, they making JJ Redick look real good right now because everybody was down on him. So,
well, go ahead. Go ahead.
What about you, Coach Billy? I mean, this is a trade that you didn't expect to see happen. I mean, do you really think the Lakers won this trade?
Being a Laker fan as well, man, is yes and no, and like was mentioned, for a guy that's not willing to get down there and bang some bodies and stuff. I mean, that's what we need though. We gotta have that, especially with the big. I mean, who cares if you can shoot outside? What you gonna do inside for me? We need defensive rebounds. We need offensive rebounds, putbacks, all that. You can't just stand outside the arc and hit threes all day. Dirk didn't do that when he was in Dallas. Come on, man. You got a big man. When we brought in Shaq came in, he's in the middle. That's his paint. The paint is his, period. We got other guys that can shoot outside. We got our forwards. We got our guards. We good. But now you're going to bring in a 7-foot guard, basically.
Right.
It all comes down to the Lake Show because I'm a Laker fan too. But it all comes down to LeBron. LeBron James is the one that has the most influence. Just like back in the day, think of it. All the Laker fans out there, I want you to reminisce real quick. Start thinking about all the great Lakers that came through. All right, just the crystal ball is right here, the crystal ball. All right, we're going to Magic Johnson. Did Magic Johnson not select his top 4 matter of fact, his top 6, he wanted on the bench? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We'll start going to that. There was so much influence with these young men. Now we go to LeBron era. It looks different because now you have a superstar GOAT that says, I want this guy. I want him now. I want this person. No, I don't like this person in the front office. Michael Jordan did it. Why can't LeBron do it? Michael Jordan made every decision known to man after his years that he came back because he wanted to finish off a champion. When he came back, there were stipulations that he required for him to even move forward with the Bulls to win a championship. Now, that's true. Joe Boy said he would have took Paul George over Luka. I'm a Bulldog fan. I love Paul George. The reason why I'll take Luka is because think of the matchups. You're going to have a 6'2" to 6'4", 6'5" guard sticking a 7-foot guard that possibly still, he be busting them threes, but it's hard to come on that perimeter when you got a 7-footer. It's hard to come out. Now you got LeBron out there popping out that can do multiple jobs. You know what I mean? So there's a matchup that I believe the front office and LeBron has seen as well that maybe we don't see quite yet. But when we go deep in the playoffs and deep in the season, it gets a little harder for these fellas to run around with them bad knees and them guards to continue to, run around in circles on that perimeter. It gets hard. When you got some size, now what are you going to do? Are you going to waste the big man? Are you going to take a guard out? Are you going to bring in the smaller front, keep one big man in? Like, there's some choices that got to be made. Who's going to double team LeBron? Now you got Luka. Now what's going to go? You see what I'm saying? There's things that we all have to think of, why they made this move. We talk about one more thing I want to bring up. We're going to talk about Golden State Warriors. Look at what they just done. Dangerous. Look who they just signed.
Jimmy Butler. Buckets.
Come on, man.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to be quiet after this. Who do the Lakers normally play when it's time for the championship?
Golden State.
You got to play Golden State.
Golden State.
Come on now. It's all strategic. This is all strategic. It's all a game. So
ain't no ifs or buts about it. They got
we know what is going on. So now, is Jimmy Butler going to pop on Luka? Or is Jimmy Butler going to stick LeBron? Who's going to, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on? Like, how's that going to play out? So, Jimmy Butler wow. Yes, it is a game changer, folks. The fans are saying and the viewers saying it's a game changer. It is a game changer.
It is on the offensive side, but what about on the defensive side when it switches? Is Luka going to be able to stay with those guards?
That's true. Hey, that's true. I like it.
You got to play both ends of the court.
I like it.
Got to.
I love it. Lakers do have a bench, though. The first time I can say in many years, they do have a seventh. Normally it's a 6 man. We do have a 7th man finally. Oh, yeah. So I think it works out.
Oh, yeah.
Well, hey, right now it's the Lakers leading 106-78 against Utah at home at the Crypto.com Arena. I know the Jazz are not good this season. I know that. But, hey, I got to double-check the stats. But let me give you this. Okay. 2 big splashes in the trade deadline with Jimmy Butler going to Golden State and also Luka going to the Lakers. Look at the dynamic, especially. There's a lot of reports about Luka and joking around with Bronny and LeBron on the bench when he was sitting there. But you look at Golden State, there's some egos up there in the Bay Area at the Chase Center, especially Draymond Green and also Steph Curry. It will be interesting to see what the dynamic will be as the season goes on because everyone wants to be the big dog, and sometimes you have to be the leader. But there's too many leaders. There's too many chefs in the kitchen. It seems like in Golden State.
Yeah. I think it's time for Draymond to humble himself because he getting old and his hair is starting to tell it. So he needs to back up and stop trying to swing on these young cats before he really gets something done to it. These younger boys, they ain't playing no more. They'll call up the cavalry, but and put some on you. So
Yeah,
you better pick and choose the right battle.
you know, we talk about the NBA a lot. You know, it is the NBA time where we need to get more into talking about the NBA. We will on our next show. But I think the biggest thing is we have to really watch out for them scary LA team on the other side, them Clippers, because
Oh
normally it
man, come
starts
on, baby.
they will creep up on you. They
Come
will creep
on,
up on you
baby.
because normally it starts with an arena. We're going to rebuild the arena. We're going to put all this money in. Then they're going to be sucked for a couple of years, and then next thing you know, they're winning championship. Look what they did in Golden State. Let's talk about, remember Golden State? The same thing they did in Golden State in the Bay Area. That was the same. Orlando, same thing they did in Orlando, same with the Magic before Shaq got there. I mean, we can go, same thing they did in Chicago. I mean, all of these places make sense, and you have to understand the business of the game. Joe Boy, I can't even get through my. He said, Joe Boy said, "Give me some claps or something." Joe Boy, we're gonna bring you in. Okay, we're gonna show Joe Boy some favor real quick. His last one we talk about Paul George and Luka. Okay, we talked about that one, Joe Boy. All right. What about Jimmy Butler to the Warriors? We talked about that one. All right, we talked about that. There it is. We gave you a claps. We gave you a claps. We gave you a clap. We also, Joe Boy, we talked about this too. This is very important. We like this. But I think he's really talking about, fellas, we got to make a pause because I think this is what he's really talking about. He said speculation of Devontae Adams being a 49er. We have to we got to go back to this real quick. What are y'all thinking about this? Because I heard this too when I was out in New Orleans. And you know, this is the NFL guy talking.
The Jets. Finish the season with the Jets.
Yeah. But
Devontae Adams is out of New York. I'm going with Joe Boy on that prediction.
Of course. But he also will be coming back home.
Yeah.
As a 49er.
And also East Palo Alto is not far away from Santa Clara. Just saying.
Come on now. It's right there. And I think he will feel more comfortable because he's a Fresno State Bulldog. His fan base really started there. So he'll get an opportunity to actually, y'all know how it is when you go to a new job or you go somewhere and you're not really familiar with the folks and it feels a little different, so you got to kind of change who you are a little, not who you are, but kind of, step a little differently. You know what I mean? And I think it's the same thing with him. He went to Jets thinking the grass was going to be greener because he's playing with his boy. Oh my God, he probably had nightmares every night over there in the Jet.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you look at that. Go ahead, DR. Go ahead.
I just believe it. I believe he had nightmares. Yeah.
Here's my thing. I mean, it's kind of sad to see Devontae get burned, but the question will be, does Aaron Rodgers hang it up right now? I know there's some reports he wants out of New York, but does he want to play for another team? I don't see many teams wanting an old quarterback that has problems with his knees. I can see Aaron Rodgers playing in the Arena Football League or even up in Canada. That's a very offensive friendly league up north. But I mean, I just don't see. I can see Aaron Rodgers being on the NFL Fox Sunday desk. He's gonna be the next Gronk. Just saying it right now. He can go up to Chico. He can do all his stuff, do his meditation, and do all like his Zen garden or whatever. And you look at it. You know what? You won a Super Bowl. You try to bring the Jets back. You injure yourself on the first series against the Bills. It was destined to fail from the start.
Yeah. I mean, when you got knock knees playing quarterback like Tom Brady, I love the guy, but I mean, he can't run, man. He understood the assignment. He said, you know what? I love it. I got the arm, but man, what happens if you play in the Super Bowl? It's funny, but it's not funny. If you play in the Super Bowl like what just happened just now, and that happens.
Yeah.
Your knees go out. You can't go nowhere, and now you're blowing your knees off for the rest of your life, or something happens like that. Now you can't even walk with your grandkids. You can't even, There's a time where you just got to give up. There's a time where you just got to sit your behind down and just be like, you know what? I am the greatest of all time. Or I made it this far. Now it's time for me to be a coach or like you're saying. But like, come on, man. Like, you gonna play until you gonna crawl on the field?
Well, it looked like he falling behind Brett Favre.
Yeah.
On that path.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Know when to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Know when to stop.
How about this? How about this? I know Cal is talking to Ron Rivera being like some manager for the football team. You bring Aaron Rodgers back, not as a coach, but there's a little thing called NIL that's been surfacing around college athletics. If you have somebody that with his name, image, and likeness, no pun intended, of Aaron Rodgers, you could get some good change and keep some good student athletes at UC Berkeley. I'm just saying, you know what? He likes that area. He could probably bring Jeff Tedford along and go on a reunion tour. If I'm Cal, I'd be calling Aaron Rodgers saying, hey, we can give you a sweet deal. You can eat in our dining hall for free. You can wear all the Cal merch you want. You could go to these banquets. You could talk to people, raise money, and for the NIL effort, and you don't have to play. You can be a David Carr and show up on NFL Network and do your Sunday stuff. Then you're fine. Then you can go back to wherever you're living at, probably in Chico, and probably having fun in your Zen garden, and then you're good. And everything's fine. Let's call it a day.
Right.
Like you look, I mean, if he does the Brett Favre route, like what Dave Harv was saying, there's nowhere to go. There's nobody. Every team has a good quarterback. And if you do take a risk on Aaron Rodgers, what are you doing? It's not smart. It's not.
Yeah.
It's only a 1 or 2 year commitment.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, sometimes when you're a player, it's hard to stop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make this reference. Coach Billy is there, but I call him my bigger brother, but I was his head coach at a point in semi-pro, and he played one of the oldest players out there. But sometimes you can't get it out of you. You can't get the game of football or any sport out of you. It keeps going. No, seriously. Me, it was just I could have still been playing in the NFL, but you know what? Certain life instances happen. But it's out of me. We're allowed now, like I can literally just give it all to the youth and to other coaches and adults, the knowledge I have. You know what I mean? So I don't feel like I'm lack of or I used to when I was younger. Maybe that's what he's going through. Like maybe he's going through a part of his life where he thinks that he has to keep playing because when he stops, again, folks, hear me what I'm saying. I'm a retired NFL player. The money stops. I don't care what you think guys make $100 million or it don't even last like that. And I'm sorry, I don't care how you invest. It don't work like that. So a lot of gentlemen, when they're done, there's another lifestyle. There's another career. You have to start all over. Your football is not going to be everything. You have to take something else that you've learned and apply it to your life because everything is not going to amount to football. Okay. So a lot of these players, think about Junior Seau. He, rest in peace, man. Whatever happened mentally, it was different for him, man. He was going through a lot of different instances mentally and he needed support and he wasn't getting that mental support. You know, like a lot of us, I have short-term memory playing in the NFL. Like I can go on and on about this topic. It's deeper than just playing football, folks. So if you're a fan, you need to think about how deep it is after the game of football. Your body hurts. Your brain is gone. You know, your homies are gone. The woman is gone. The financiers are gone. You know, like your agent is still around, but he's not an active agent like he was. You know, the popularity is there probably from where you're from, but that's all. You need to go home and you still need to sit down by yourself and you have to think. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
So these are the nuggets that I'm glad that we brought that up about the Aaron Rodgers deal, because there are a lot of NFL players that are suffering right now. I can tell you right now, one of my good friends, Lewis Leonard, that played at Fresno State, he's going through it right now, playing, college ball, NFL mentally, going through a hard time with his body, from being beat. He needs support, and help from the NFL and things of that nature. It hurts, and that's what this show is about. We tell it like it is. We ain't gonna sugarcoat it, because when you do, these young men and young women that are watching the show, they will not be able to go through life and career, without having the right sort of information. So just wanted to throw that out there.
But hey, I know.
What
Go
y'all
ahead,
think
yeah.
about this Alabama receiver Ryan Williams getting this $200 NIL deal? 17 years old, man. That's crazy.
Wasn't it like 100 and something million? No, what was it? 400 million?
248 million.
248. I don't know. There's three men on this line right now. Do you think I would want to go to the NFL after you give me an NIL deal?
That's what I'm saying.
NFL, peace.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Give me my degrees. I'm good.
You don't have to play one down.
Dude, you can buy your degree.
Man, come on, man.
I want my own classroom, and I want this professor.
They gonna give him a degree, honorary.
Yeah. That's man. That's crazy, and I mean, Joe's on fire. It's just so hard. We always get that one viewer or that one support system, or Joe Boy is our boy, and he's on here making comments with other viewers that kind of going on, but we can't really see the views for some reason. But I'm gonna tell you right now, he has one great one I'm gonna put up right now. I'm just trying to get this other part of the screen off, but it's amazing to what he's saying and feeding off of. He was saying this. He said that, hold on, let me get back to it. He says this. He says, analysts say Aaron Rodgers wouldn't have took a plane ride back to New York if he didn't want to play anymore. Woo! See that? I mean, I seen something like that on ESPN. They were talking about that too. I mean, I'm 42 years old. Me and Aaron Rodgers played together in JUCO, our very first game against each other. I played at West Hills College, now known as Coalinga College. We went out to Butte College. First play I get the ball, ran 99-yard touchdown. The first play Aaron Rodgers got in, he threw a 99-yard touchdown pass to his brother that played tight end. No lie, no cap. This is a true story. Coach Mark Gritton was my head coach, and we were going back and forth. And think about that. Just think about it. 7 kids later for me. I don't know how many kids he got. I got multiple degrees. I'm in a third career. He's still in the NFL in his first career. He has not had a chance to think about anything past how to invest his money and maybe take care of his kids. But there's nothing in between. That's hard. There's nothing in between. So, yes, Joe is right. He wouldn't have got on that plane if he didn't want to play anymore. How long are you going to keep playing?
I can see him going 1 year. I can see him doing the Swan Song tour. You know what? Whatever happens, happens. You see what this team, the Jets, will do. Hopefully, I think this team will be better than what Saleh had previously.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's all dependent on what the Jets do with the draft. You have to have good draft, and also you have to get some good free agents as well. You cannot win football games anymore in the NFL without getting good talent via via free agency or even the draft. I mean, what do the Jets need? That's the question. That's the question that you have to ask, and the list is too long. Where do you start? That's the thing. Yeah, where do you start at? Do you want defense? Do you want offense? I mean, if Devontae Adams is really going to leave to go to the 49ers, then who's going to be wide receiver one?
That's true. That's true. But you also have players like our boy Travis Hunter that can play multiple, but he will not play multiple in the NFL. We know how the game works. He may be close to Deion Sanders. Then you got Ashton Genty, and like Joe was saying as well. Thank you, Joe, for chiming in, man. You rolling, but he was saying that Ashton is saying that he wants to play for the Bears. He doesn't want to play for anyone else but the Bears. When does players have the say so to just say, I want to go? Because if that was the case, I wanted to go to Kansas City Chiefs if I had the choice. And I was a fourth round first pick, the fourth round, somewhere around there, and I still was a high pick. There was only 3 running backs taken before me. Adrian Peterson, Marshawn Lynch, Michael Bush, and myself. That was it. And we were the 2 running backs taken, Marshawn and Adrian Peterson had less yards than me and Michael Bush. So it all depends where you are in the draft. It all depends how you go, no matter how great you are. It depends on that coordinator and that relationship that you built. The relationships that is built from Aaron, we're going to go back on Aaron Rodgers. He built relationships as he played for a Packer, as a Packer. He built those relationships throughout the NFL. Who else? I mean, if Michael Jordan came out of retirement right now, I guaranteed he won't even last 2 weeks. Somebody would just sign him because he's what? Michael Jordan.
Name. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, those are facts. So I don't know, fellas. We got about 5 minutes left on our show, but I mean, this was a good show. This was a great show. We got a chance to really talk about a lot of things and touch on a lot of different subjects. We even got Dwight to elaborate a little bit more because he ain't got his DJ booth set up. So we got him away from the DJ booth to talk.
Wait, are we really gonna leave without talking about the halftime show? Are we?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna leave without talking about the halftime show.
Are we gonna?
Of course not. And that's why everybody is asking us right now. Hey, I would like to talk about the halftime show. Who want to start? I'm gonna wait to say my comment.
I tell you what, man.
Oh, look, everybody's talking at once. We gotta be civil.
There's a whole lot of message in that halftime show that people.
Yes.
Like he supposed to bust out a volcano or something and just erupt. He erupted. And he told y'all, right person, wrong time. That's all he needed to say. I knew what he was talking about.
Yeah. And folks, we talk about Kendrick Lamar's performance at the Super Bowl. And he also had Samuel L. Jackson, one of my favorite actors, by the way. Played on all the great Spike Lee joint movies, known to man, and also won some great awards throughout his career. I'm gonna save my comments to last. I want to hear from all y'all. Like, how did the show? How did you feel about the show? Halftime show.
I liked it. Yeah.
What about you, Billy?
Man, Black History Month. He just won all these Grammys, and he comes out and says, "The revolution is being televised." Man, and then he just hit it. And then he gets during that the one clip where Serena her crib walk. That right there, and the way he just really faced the camera when he was talking about Drake. The dude is just, he's like, you know what? Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be me, period. You're not gonna change who I am. You guys got me here, I'm being myself.
Yes.
And he did that. He did that. It was, man, I was loving it. I was loving it.
And also, I know for me, because I like listening to SZA. SZA was there. That was good because I know
right.
And also with Serena Williams being there, that was really interesting to watch. I mean, that was like, oh, there's Serena Williams. But it was kind of funny. My roommates and I were watching the game. We got pizza and all that, but we were all waiting for the song that we've been all talking about for 5 months. And we went ballistic when they got the song. And the best part of that is, that part when Kendrick Lamar is going off. When Kendrick Lamar is going off, and it's good. It's that that line that everybody's saying, the whole
Yes.
entire stadium is saying that line. I wanted to see what Drake was doing at that time, but the same at the time is you look at it, he had the audience. He had the audience in his hand. It was perfect.
Yes.
I mean, that was especially with that. I mean, that is rivals what we saw in 2022 with that with the Super Bowl with Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre at SoFi Stadium. That I mean, that's up there. But with the relevance of that song from Kendrick, and he went for it, and the build-up for it, I mean, for me, that's that. I mean, that whole entire Sunday, they kept playing it on the radio station here in Fresno. That same song, They Not Like Us, kept playing it. And you know what? I mean, Kendrick Lamar is one of the. You know what? You said it right. He isn't. Hey, you know what? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? I'm just going to do it. And he did it. And he got. Hey, Twitter went off, and X went off.
Everything was going on,
and the memes have been made, and it's the Super Bowl will go down in the history of good Super Bowl performances.
The best thing that I like, and I'm a lover of every single race in the world. I love every human being. I love Jesus Christ. I back Jesus 100%. I back people who love each other. That's just what I'm about. But the message about the culture is Black History Month.
Right.
And the message of seeing those Black men with the American flag deeper than what people think it is. It's just saying that our justice will come as far as the hard work that has been done and put in this country for over 500 years as slaves. And the message that I seen was the prison yards, seeing the some of the innocent people that, were maybe in prison that were locked up, and they were sitting on those poles and singing. And you seen, Serena Williams sea walking, basically reminding people, don't forget where I came from now. Like, I know I'm out here winning these Wimbleys and whatever you are, winning these awards. But don't forget that I also came from the struggle. I also came from the hard times. Yeah, I may be out here in the tabloids and I'm dating, it's okay. I'm dating outside of my race, but guess what? I love him. He loved me. Right. But at the same time, don't forget where I came from. And this also was a time that represented the African-American culture of hip hop. Hip hop was designed and built off of just that. Like, it's not even beef, bad beef. Lyricists, like what Drake is and what Kendrick Lamar is, they speak words. That's what hip hop was built on. Hip hop was founded on words and music and the African drum and the beat. Like, that's what it's about. So he was bringing us back to where it all started. The whole PlayStation thing with the controllers. Yes, that was definitely all about the game that's been played. The Uncle Sam, which represented Samuel L. Jackson, that was just a replica of saying, hey, how can I say this? Even some Blacks and some whites and some Asians and some Latinos or whatever may feel like they cannot express themselves. So it was a game being played, and Samuel L. Jackson was just saying, hey, like, they don't want you to do this and say this. And then he was just saying, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. Right. That whole deal of what we talked about with even going back to the game of football, right? Like, there's some of us, like, from all races that feel like I can't do nothing without the game of football or basketball or baseball, and it's hard for me to release. I feel like if I do, I'm stuck. Nah, man, this dude Kendrick was representing the culture, the African-American Black culture, perfectly. I'm always going to love, my culture and where we came from, and I'm always going to speak highly of it, and also love other cultures as well, because I think we all was a part of building this country. But when it comes to the African-American culture and how we was brought over, in chains and things of that nature, he was representing what the struggle was and how the revolution has coming from the words of hip hop as well, expressing himself. And it was awesome. Michael Jackson, was my favorite show of all time, but this is definitely in the top 5 up there. But again, to that brother Kendrick Lamar for representing that like that in those words without even really being fancy and trying to be all overbearing was perfect. Again, to all my brothers and sisters, to every race, man, like that's what America's about. America's about having free speech, right? Like everybody being able to share what they believe in, and it was just a great show. As far as and I'm gonna speak openly of it, as far as the first part of the show, and I had to bring it up, Brian. We're talking about the halftime show. So the beginning of the game, and we talked about, and this is not a political show. We're just talking about the NFL game, folks. Don't hate me. I still love all y'all. We're just talking about it's an open forum, late night show. The Black National Anthem has been around since the early 1900s. All right. So that was just a song that was made for the struggle. All right. The original national anthem was created by slave owners. So you can't get mad at me. I'm just reciting of the history. It was created by slave owners, to those that don't know. And what happened was the Black National Anthem was created to show love to everybody, not just any race, but to show love that we're going to overcome. We're going to overcome these obstacles. We're going to get through it, and we're going to represent from every single part of the globe. And we're going to make sure that unity is being met. And that's what it was about. So we had to throw those nuggets in because there was a lot of different hate going around, even on my social media. I hate to see that stuff. It's all about us coming together, at this time. And I think this is just the time where people are seeing the truth from everybody, not just from every walks of life. We're seeing the truth. So let's all just hang in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, it's Black History Month. So I had a chance to really share that on this platform. I know these gentlemen feel the same, and all of us, we're all brothers. Bryan Welch is one of our brothers as well. We're all together in this thing. That's why we have this unity within this show. So, yeah, fellas, I think we should end that on that, man. We should end the note on that. And we can't wait to see a lot of our followers come back next week. Thursday, right, fellas? Thursday?
Right, yeah. Hey,
Thursday.
Hey, reaction to what Luka did tonight. 14 points right now against Utah. Let's see what he'll do for the rest of the week. We'll talk about that a little bit more. And hey, you know what? Hey, let's talk about a little bit of combine. Hey, especially the draft process coming up. The team that needs the best pick. I think we're going to talk about that on Thursday, right, Dwayne?
We're going to talk about a lot about that. Joe Perez talking about more claps. There you go, Joe. We're getting some claps. There we go. All right. We get some claps. By the way, fellas, we will make sure that we talk a little bit more with our fans next on Thursday, because we want to have that fan interaction. We're going to bring on some JUCO coaches as well on Thursday, because, we are the #1 leading JUCO show in the land, and we talk to most of the JUCO players that, are playing all over the nation. But I do want to bring in some key coaches to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl recap, to close it out. I want to hear what they're talking about. And we also want to talk about that new rule that a lot of folks is getting a little confused about, the eligibility rule in junior college of the 2 years and with the 4 years that you continue to play. So God bless y'all all. We are going to sign out on another great episode 25. We're going to be back with episode 26 in just a couple more days. Have a blessed one. D. Wright, I'm out.
Yeah, it's your boy, D.R. Peace, love, and soul.
Yes, sir.